Welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW Dynamite post show review. Dynamite is live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Loaded card announced for tonight. 2 matches of the Continental Challenge Cup. Moxley versus Jack Perry, and also Jay White versus David Finlay. We will have TNT title match. Kevin Knight defending against Chris Jericho. Also, number 2 spot match for the Casino Gauntlet at All In. 3-way match, Nick Wayne versus Mike Bailey versus MJF. So plenty to look forward. Let's dive into it and talk about that. So we started off with Will Ospreay making his entrance. Ospreay said last week he had the honor of being in Arena Mexico again. The fans knew how to raise him up and lift his spirits. Ospreay said last week, 25 days out of biggest match of his life, he was in Mexican street fight, which sucked to go through, but one person was at home on his sofa watching. That is Kenny Omega, the world champion. Ospreay knows Omega is backstage to earn his paycheck, so if Michael Nakazawa isn't trimming his testicles, maybe he can join us. So that was a very low blow from Will Ospreay towards Kenny Omega. Don Callis music hits and a collective groan is heard from the Vegas crowd. Callis said while Ospreay couldn't wait to compete in AEW, Callis could not wait to exploit it. In 2020, Callis and Omega screwed Moxley and won the world title, going on a run unmatched in this company's history. Then Omega made a critical error, thinking he could do it without Callis. He reminded Omega who his real daddy is, stabbing Omega in the face, putting him in hospital. Callis reminded Ospreay when Omega beat Ospreay in New Japan, he was in Omega's corner. They both owe everything to Callis. So we saw RPG Wise, Jake Doyle and Mark Davis all hit the ring, attack Ospreay from behind. Kenny Omega's music hit and he slowly walks out with a pipe. Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta rush up the stage and get clobbered with shots. With the ring cleared, Omega stared down Ospreay and back to the pipe, faking a shot but pulling back. Omega said to Ospreay, when Ospreay talks from the heart, he has a way with words. Omega felt that problem is Ospreay wears his heart on his sleeves but doesn't think. What did Omega say about Callis or Moxley? All this has made Ospreay a sloppy fool who will lose everything. This isn't who Omega wants at Wembley, but hopes Ospreay understands that Omega can't help him again. And Ospreay then said he appreciated the help but didn't ask for it, nor will he need it again. So there is building some tension between these two before the All-In main event, and this was a very good segment to build up the hype for the main event of All-In, like the opening segment between Ospreay and Omega. So first action of the night, MJF versus Speedball Mike Bailey versus Nick Wayne for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet. Action-packed opener. MJF didn't take too many bumps but was certainly heavily involved. I thought Wayne again held his own and deserved more time on Dynamite. Bailey is always going to be one of the biggest baby faces on this roster, and the match delivered for that as well. MJF stormed to the ring, choked Justin Roberts in the ropes and demanded to be referred to as one true champion. Bell sounded and MJF immediately took the easy way out, taking the headset at commentary table, saying he is going to let these two twinks battle it out before showing why he is the one true champion, calling Shivani a fat old prick. So in the meanwhile, Bailey and Nick Wayne going after each other. Wayne with a pump kick and triangle moonsault outside on Bailey. We saw Bailey wanted the time adventure. Wayne met him with the prodigy plex. MJF in as Wayne pops him in the midsection. Bailey flew in with the shooting star press to break the count. Bailey hit Ultimo Weapon, but MJF chucks him outside, quickly applies Salt of the Earth on Wayne, and he tapped out. So MJF gets the number 2 spot, and he will start with Andrade in the Casino Gauntlet match. It's gonna be a fantastic start for the match. Post-match, MJF took the mic saying he told all what was going to happen. The champ has never lost a day in his life and he's walking into Wembley the champion, the one true champion. The music for Andrade hits. MJF looks shocked and it's a ruse. MJF asks how you know Andrade isn't here. Is because he whooped his ass last week at Arena Mexico. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay are both terrified of MJF as they better get down on their knees and hands and pray and they don't have to face MJF again. The devil talking, sooner or later they will find out the hard way MJF is the one true champion. So again, this was a very good match and very good promo by MJF, building up the hype for the Casino Gauntlet. I pretty much like the direction of MJF holding the belt around as the one true champion and also competing in the Casino Gauntlet. He might be the favorite to win it this year as well. We get the Divine Dominion backstage promo mocking their challenges for the women's tag titles at All In. They have given them just a taste of what they are capable of. So bring their families, friends, husbands. It will be their biggest massacre. Cross and bend chairs, beers, and smash the glasses. And this was a very good promo from the champions. Looking forward to the women's tag title match at All In. Mick Foley is in the back with Bang Bang Gang. Switchblade Jay White officially welcomes Foley to the Bang Bang Gang. White said since he returned to AEW, the dogs have seemed to get the best of them since starting all this, but not tonight. He will put David Finlay down and hopes Moxley advances so he can beat him as well. So pretty much looking forward to the singles run of Jay White now. He's back full time on TV. And I think he will be in the final of Continental Challenge Cup at All In. Next up is Switchblade versus David Finlay Continental Challenge Cup first round match. We finally got the anticipated singles match between these two, and I would say it delivered big time. White was selling the neck, and thankfully he recovered, and we got a really fun finish with each other, showing they know the other so well with the finisher countered aplenty. So very solid match between these two. Flatliner and deadlift German suplex from Jay White. Finlay hit a snap DDT of his own, but White kicked out. Finlay slid out of the Blade Runner and connects with the into Oblivion, but again White kicked out. Finlay wanted overkill, but White blocked the knee and hit a flash Blade Runner out of nowhere for the pinfall victory. So again, Jay White is moving towards the quarterfinals of the Continental Challenge Cup. I'm pretty much looking forward to who he will face in the quarterfinals match. So plenty to look forward in the Continental Challenge Cup. Next up is the Trios title celebration. Hangman and Brodido was welcomed by Tony Schiavone in the ring. They celebrated their win as Paige was about to speak a little Spanish when Swerve Strickland's music hits, and Swerve Strickland returned with Prince Nana on Dynamite. Finally, Swerve is back on TV. Nana tells Schiavone to get lost as he and Strickland will be asking questions moving forward. Strickland said this is a trauma bonding. He sees three guys that he's had bad blood with now, buddies and trios champions. What the hell happened to this place? Strickland tore down the house with Bandito at Double or Nothing, where Bandito failed. That Strickland said the last time he saw King, he was face down in a pool of his own blood. And this all seemingly comes down to Paige. Earlier this year they were on the same page, but he takes his eye off Paige for 1 second and he loses his chance of getting another world title shot and questions Paige's legacy. Now Paige said unlike Strickland, he never took his eyes off him, and Strickland doesn't have any room of talking as he's done some heinous shit and nothing to show for it. And at that moment, Demand's music hits and walks out Ricochet and gets of agony and lethal twist. Ricochet asks if Strickland has partners unless Nana has decided to step his old ass back in the ring to team with him. Khan and Leona would love putting him out of his misery for good. And then he talked about how they were robbed last week in Arena Mexico of the trios titles. They're lucky this isn't the NFL, because then there had to be replay of Leona's shoulder being up, so they demand their rematch. Ricochet said Strickland has 9 guys out here who hate his ass, so get out of his arena. Strickland goes to leave with Nana but says King does all the barking while Ricochet is a bitch. And Paige said Strickland has a point telling Ricochet to get his dumb ass to the ring. Ricochet said it's a great idea, but they will do it on their own time. So this was a very good segment. Strickland coming out to face off against the trios champions, teasing partners, and then the demand coming out. We might see a three-way match for the trios titles. Strickland's partner, there is rumors going around that New Day, former WWE tag team, will be coming in and signing with the AEW, and they might be the partners for Strickland. I pretty much like this idea as well. And if this happens, New Day and Strickland versus Hangman and Brodido versus the demand for the trios titles, three-way at All In, it's gonna be a banger match, and I'm pretty much looking forward to that as well. We saw the footage of Renee interviewing Willow is shown as Mercedes comes charging in with the Owen Hart title, attacking Nightingale, calling her a dumb bitch and laying her out. So there is the tension between these two ladies heading into the women's title match at All In. I think so it's gonna be one of the best matches of the week. These two gonna deliver one of a banger at All In Wembley Stadium. Next up is the TNT title match. Kevin Knight defending against Jericho. Knight tried attacking early but was spiked by Jericho brainbuster. We have a Jerry Show reunion on the commentary table as well with Jericho and Paul White. Knight tried a line salt, but Jericho was ready with the knees up, multiple shoulder tackles and chops, and Knight reeling. We saw Jericho swept the legs of Kevin Knight, wanted the walls of Jericho, but Knight pulled him into multiple rolling cradles. Callis to stab Jericho in the head with a screwdriver. Kevin Knight got free and hit coast to coast, but Jericho kicked out. This was a close count. Knight positioned for the UFO, but leapt right into codebreaker in midair for a very close 2 count. Jericho with the Judas effect almost came close to Aubrey, who turned away, allowing Knight to get a low blow and crash landing for the pinfall victory. So again, very good match, very good title defense by Kevin Knight, and we might see him defending against Darby Allin in a false count anywhere match heading into All In. Death Riders are training backstage. Claudio said he doesn't care who he faces next, he will beat them all. Moxley said lot of crazy things can happen in the Challenge Cup. He could lose tonight to Jack Perry. Does Perry live it like they live it? Maybe it doesn't matter. Moxley goes back to grappling with Utah to end the segment. So this was a good segment to hype up the main event match between Moxley and Jack Perry. Next up is a quick match for Kris Statlander against Viva Van. Ali snap, Hurricane Runner from Viva Van. Statlander went up top for a suplex. Van fought out of it with the front face suplex, missile drop kick for a 2 count. Van wanted the electric chair. Statlander rolled through, traded stiff shots, and then connects the thrust kick, discus lariat, and the Wednesday Night Fever for the pinfall victory. So again, good victory for Statlander. Post-match, we saw Mick Foley comes out to interview Stat. Foley said he talked to Tony Khan backstage. She will be part of a 4-way next week against Maya World, Hikaru Shida and Persephone. Statlander said she's ready to fight. She's proud of World, who deserves to be the TBS champion, but she will make Shida and Persephone bend over backwards and shove their heads up their asses for every sneak attack they did. Stat Daddy will make them pay, and she was made for the TBS title, and she will win the title next week. So very good showing for Stat. Persephone music hits and she makes her entrance, and Hikaru Shida as well for the upcoming tag match. Thunder Rosa and TBS champion Maya World come to the ring and hold the ring with Statlander briefly. So from this we got to the next women's tag team match, Persephone and Hikaru Shida versus Maya World and Thunder Rosa. Pretty much your standard tag here. Very happy for World. Shida and Rosa slugging it out. World hits a rolling Cazadora on Persephone and leapt into a stunner or Shida. Shida stumbled back and World hit the bridging fallaway slam to get the pinfall victory on Hikaru Shida. Good win for TBS champion Maya World. Post-match, Statlander came to the ring and celebrated with Rosa and Maya World as well. So very good victory for the champion in this tag match. Renee's backstage with Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis, congratulating Fletcher for the title defense last week against Mike Bailey. Callis said he was talking to Tony Khan about defending the international title against someone who has never gotten his rematch. Fletcher says, please don't tell him it's not Takeshita. Callis said, not just him, as he said it will be against Takeshita and Okada, who is standing there. Callis said this guarantees them 100% to win the match. Okada said as long as the title stays in the family. Callis and Okada are hyped up and fist pump each other, turning back, and Fletcher already walked away annoyed. There is nothing better than hilarious buddy duo Okada and Callis. And official for All In card international title 3-way match. We were anticipating this match and this is gonna happen at All In. I am pretty much looking forward to that match as well. It's gonna be a match of the year contender. These three will give one of the banger matches at All In card, and it's gonna be a fantastic watch. And in the main event is Jon Moxley versus Jack Perry in the Continental Challenge Cup. One hell of an effort by Perry here, which I would rank right up there with one of the top performances of his career. I was almost expecting a massive upset here, and these two delivered one hell of a banger main event. Feeling out process to start the match until Perry sends Moxley outside and delivers a baseball slide. Perry tried a tope but was swatted like a fly in midair with Moxley forearm. Moxley missed a charge into the guardrail. Perry tried a sliced bread, but Moxley countered by slamming Perry through the timekeeper's table. Moxley chased off Doc Samson as Perry is bleeding even more than before, and Paul White on commentary said Moxley is a shark. Moxley in firm control, trash talking Perry, asking if he really wants to be a big boy and main eventer. We saw Moxley outside and this time successfully hit a low tope, one through the middle rope and a somersault suicida before following with a huge Orihara moonsault. Moxley exploded up into a sleeper. Perry reversed it into a roller for a 2 count. Moxley backdropped out, but Perry rolled through into a snare trap. Excalibur brings up Moxley, panicking in submissions. As Moxley fought out of it into a bulldog choke, they got to their feet. Perry started fading, but Moxley repositioned and hooked both legs, and Perry passed out in one hell of a main event on Dynamite. So Moxley advances in the Continental Challenge Cup. Post-match, we saw Moxley extended a hand and showed respect to Perry to close out the show. So a very good match in the Continental Challenge Cup on Dynamite. It's gonna be a fantastic card for All In. 2 new matches made official tonight. International title 3-way match, Okada, Takeshita and Fletcher, and also first count anywhere match, Kevin Nash versus Darby Allin for the TNT title. So card is shaping up very nicely. It's gonna be a banger show at All In Wembley Stadium. So that's the end of the show, folks. Please guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.